Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. Let's talk about the latest episode of Titans. It was called 51%, and it starts with Barbara getting a phone call about the incident that we saw at the end of the previous episode, which was perpetrated by a few people who were hyped up on the latest edition of the fear toxin, or whatever poison Crane is making, which was given to them by Red Hood, Jason. We see that Crane is manipulating an image of Barbara's face in his computer, but we don't really know why. He ends up dosing Jason with something that makes him pass out under the guise of telling him, here, take another dose of your medicine. And he does that because Jason went against his wishes when he gave the drug out to the people who committed the incident. And I think other incidents as well. There seemed to be some mention of a bunch of different crimes that went on the same night. But anyway, the heads of the five families are pissed off, so Crane visits with them, much to their unease. He explains to them that they might not have seen anything beneficial yet from aligning with him, but that his plan has in fact put an end to Batman, and he says it's sent the Titans away, which it hasn't, so I don't know why he says that. But he's telling them this because he says it leaves them free to do, crime and whatnot, specifically to distribute his drug. But he doesn't say how that will work if everyone's crazy, which the drug does. It makes people crazy. So, the plan was so they could benefit from, but if everybody goes crazy and destroys everything and kills everyone and it turns into a madhouse, I don't see how they benefit from that. But anyway, Dick again asks Barbara to use Oracle since it's better than the Bat computer, which I didn't think was possible, but apparently it is, because he wants to try to find where Crane is, and he thinks Oracle can do it. Turns out that Oracle is an AI, which I didn't see coming. I knew from the previous episode that it wasn't Barbara, because in the comics, Barbara is Oracle, but Dick referred to it as use Oracle, which I assumed was a computer or a software, and it is, but it's also an artificial intelligence, which I did not know. There's a scene where he and Barbara use Oracle to listen in on phone conversations throughout Gotham to hone in on Crane, and I found that very reminiscent of the scene with Morgan Freeman in either the second or the third Nolan Batman movie, where Bruce and the Freeman character, Lucius Fox, kind of argue about the efficacy of using something like that. Anyway, it was reminiscent of that. And I thought, well, no wonder the NSA shut it down if it can do that, because Barbara mentions, I don't want to use Oracle because it's going to get us in trouble with the NSA. Firestar goes to the home of one of the five heads and, quote unquote, asks her for the information on Crane, where they can find Crane, and of course Red Hood as well, and they make a deal. The five families head lady, whose name I guess is Knox, asks her to find her son and bring him to her, so she agrees to do that. Dick and Connor go to the location that they got after using Oracle, and they find a booby-trapped guy in a van, and he ends up exploding because he had one of those heart bombs stuck in him, which Connor couldn't defuse because it was an alternate version of the bomb. And they realize that Crane obviously has infiltrated Oracle and knew that they knew where to go, and so he put the guy there. And now we know what he was doing with Barbara's facial image. He used that to hack into Oracle. Beast Boy, meanwhile, is trying to figure out his own way to find Jason and get to Jason, so he goes looking through his room. He finds a hidden compartment in it, and it contains a letter. Barbara shuts down Oracle because it's been compromised, and she and Dick argue, after which they decide to go old school to beat Crane, and in the process, they learn that he uses a power company guy to help him hide his use of power, the power that he's using to cook all the drugs, and that was the guy that was exploded in the van. Starfire kills the mob lady after the mob lady kills her own son when he's brought to her by Starfire. So she just straight up murders her, which I found a little bit disturbing. And not only that, but she didn't even get the information that she wanted from the woman. So it just was bad all around. Barbara learns what area Crane is in, but not really his specific location, which Starfire is able to narrow down by letting Dick know that Nox had sent a whole bunch of Freon to Crane, which pointed to Victor Fries and I guess a warehouse of his. The Titans, including suited up Blackfire, descend on an ice cream truck factory or an ice cream factory where the trucks are. Anyway, it's where Crane is. He's using it to make the drug, I guess, and the Titans kick ass, much to Crane's dismay. Even Krypto gets in on the action with some heat vision beams. Dick and Barbara share a kiss later after a brief debrief meeting. After a meeting during which the team debriefed each other, and it was brief, at Wayne Manor. Beast Boy, meanwhile, pays a visit to Molly because she was the subject of the letter, or the letter had come from her, the letter that he found in Jason's room. That's where they ended the episode. I thought it was pretty good, better than the previous episode, which seemed to be just filler. This at least moved the ball forward. They brought up Victor Fries, who of course is Mr. Freeze, and we finally get to see what Oracle was all about. So I thought it was a pretty good episode. Also, Blackfire looked very cool in her outfit. So that was that. Good episode. I'll be back to review the next one. And until then, I wish you all peace and long life.